be a number 10 pick, but there's also a world I can see it being a number, 13 or 14 pick, which is it's just not the same as having a top 10 pick.
It's not, but I'm glad you actually brought that up because even that Memphis pick that they traded for, which probably will be somewhere between 16 and 17, they acquired that pick for 2 second-round picks. Now, I mean, that was a pick. Those 2 second-round picks were 31 and 35, which is not bad. I mean, those are 2 high second-round picks, but at the same time, you got a pick now that might be about anywhere probably between 13 and 20, which I would take that over 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, and the chance of what that could become if Memphis wasn't playing well. But if let's just say Mike Conley gets injured and that pick doesn't convene this year and it convenes in the next few years, I mean, I think it's top 8 protected next year and top 5 protected the year after. So that pick still has chance of becoming really good.
And Memphis could drop off. I mean, with the way Western Conference is right now.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they're one of the teams that I actually think are one of the better teams.
They are. I agree, yeah.
Just because of the veterans they have on the team. But, like you said, I mean, they're an injury away, and again, we can't say that, those players have a history of injuries. But then overall, the trades the Celtics have won have been fantastic. I mean, they won the Markelle Fultz trade. They won the Kyrie trade. Like you said, they got that Memphis pick. The Jaylen Brown, that trade to Brooklyn. They did obviously make that mistake where they offered a bunch of those picks for Justice Winslow, and Michael Jordan turned it down. That's one of those.
I don't know how valid that is. I mean,
from everything what I heard is there was a lot. At least 2 or 3 of those picks were being offered for Justice Winslow. Danny H really wanted him because he was the type of player, as we can see, the type of player that he's drafted: a wing, athletic, who can play defense.
Now 2 to 3 is a little more believable than 4. So I wonder. I mean, obviously, I'm not an insider. I'm not a reporter. I know nothing about that. But it just seems very.
Even if it was 2, they're very lucky that didn't happen.
Of course, yes.
But other than that, they're fantastic trades, like you mentioned. Even the small Morris ones. Everything the NH seems to be doing has worked out pretty well.
Yeah. Going on to number 1 on the teams that have shaped the roster in the worst way. Their current roster in the worst way is obviously the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I tried real hard to put Orlando at number 1 and validate Brooklyn being number 2 on this list and not number 1. However, I mean, just beyond the trade they made with the Celtics in which they acquired Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and Jason Terry, the fact that they traded away the pick that later became Damian Lillard at a time when they were 14 and 29, they traded away a first-round pick to grab themselves Gerald Wallace. That has to put them at number 1 because of the fact that how terrible both of those trades were. I mean, obviously, trading away Derek Favors and Enes Kanter and what later became Gorgui Dieng for Darren Williams, that made sense. I mean, right now it looks better for Utah, but that made sense at the time, and it worked out well for Brooklyn for a couple of years. They acquired Joe Johnson for a bunch of no names and a first round pick that became Shane Larkin. Nothing big there. And I mean, two other trades, more recent trades that I think also put them at number 1 here is the 2 trades where they got themselves some salary. One was Mozgov, same trade they landed D'Angelo Russell, who's playing some solid basketball for them. However, that pick that they traded away, which was a late first round pick, became Kyle Kuzma. And who knows if New Jersey would have selected Kyle Kuzma. However, with that being said, Kuzma is somebody that they might have selected, and he's playing better basketball than D'Angelo Russell. And because of that trade, not only is he playing better basketball, but they had Mozgov's contract, who they later traded for Dwight Howard. They had to get rid of some second-round picks. Okay? I mean, a pretty bad trade on Brooklyn's part. And acquiring Allen Crabbe a year after signing him to an offer sheet that Portland matched. In 2017, 1 year after they offered him that offer sheet and Portland matched, they traded for him essentially for nothing. Portland was trading him just to get, shed some cash off the luxury tax. But yeah, now Allen Crabbe is playing some bad basketball and he's going to cost them $18.5 million next year. That's money that they still will have a lot of money this offseason, but that's money that would have been nice if they haven't had that money.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I will say is I won't defend any of these trades. These are terrible trades. They're all indefensible. But unlike the Orlando Magic, at least we're seeing that they have some but they're better at development than other teams.
Of course.
They made, they took a risk on Karis LeVert, and it looks like it really has worked out, even though he had a lot of injuries in college. And he's injured now, but that was a freak injury, and he's going to come back from it a lot earlier. They're a decent team in the East, at least. As bad as these trades were, it could have been much worse if they didn't. It seems like they have good player development and good coaching, so at least they have that going for them. It would be interesting to see this organization, the player development and coaching with a better roster, though.
Yep, of course, but I mean,
obviously the trades they've made have really, really made their future.
Well, especially the two, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, trading away the pick that later.
But even like you said, the D'Angelo Russell, giving up that pick and losing Kuzma doesn't help.
Yeah, and the fact that I mean, right now, just actually a couple hours ago, they just they signed Spencer Dinwiddie to a contract extension for 3 years and $34 million. So now this makes D'Angelo Russell. It looks like D'Angelo Russell will probably not be there beyond this year, it wouldn't make much sense if he was. So yeah, unless you trade him during the trade deadline and get something in return, I don't know how much you could get for him.
It would be a hard person to trade.
I mean, I'm sure somebody would at least be willing to give up either a late first-round pick or a couple of second-round picks. Maybe another a decent young player. Maybe they could do a trade with Phoenix where they trade Josh Jackson for D'Angelo Russell.
I mean, I don't know, because, you could always match his offer, right? So you have a little bit more room there. It doesn't mean he's going to leave right away. And, D'Angelo Russell probably not going to get that much on an open market. But we'll see.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we just went over our 5 best trades, 5 best teams that have set them up through trades, and the 5 worst teams. Please let us know if you disagree, if we missed a team. If we did it, one of the teams I wanted to add would be the Indiana Pacers, but that's a discussion for another time. Please, as always, send us emails if you have any questions or any topics you want to discuss. Sorry that we did not do one last week, but life kind of got in the way, kind of got busy. We hope that will not be the case. Follow us on our Instagram, which is NBA Trade Zone. And, DM us with any questions that you have, and rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.